All right. What's going on, family? You might move your QT up a little. Hey, what's up, fam? How are we today? All right, let's go ahead and hit that share button and come on in. Let's see, I think we are live on the Live with McCants page on Facebook. I just shared that. Yep, come on, share, get those invites in for us. You got it. Okay. And then let us also invite and get some people in to the shindig here. Uh-oh.
Hey, Kiki.
Hey, Minister Wellington. How are we, dear? All right, y'all. Let's get in here. Let's have this conversation. Let's do this. All you see is Mama Hope. I mean, my God.
I said, hey, Kiki.
Oh, is she? Okay. All right. I don't feel bad. All right. So we YouTube strong. So for those that's not on Facebook, send them that YouTube link. And we're also Periscope and Twitter strong. Let's do this. We're wonderful. We're talking marriage. Of course, I'm Michael McCants, and this is my Cocoa Puff Diva songist extraordinaire, Hope McCants, and we are here to talk marriage and love. I hear music in the air, and with this fantastic atmosphere, some
what is that?
Disasters in the air, and then she goes, "Can't you see the love tonight?" All right, so we have a fantastic couple with us today. We've pretty much known them. Well, I've known one of them, probably all my life, maybe at least all my church life, and we've known their marriage and their friendship for years. And let me tell you something. Yeah, child, she's a diva. I can honestly say that watching these two couples over the years has always been encouraging and refreshing. Outside looking in, and I know inside out, they love each other. They build life together. They have 4 children. They own a business together. That's changing people's lives. They've pushed each other through some of the most hardest times, and I know you will be blessed by their testimonies. And so we're going to bring to the forefront our friend and brother and sister, DeAndre and Brittany McNeils. Now, let me point this out. This is something that they don't never really do on camera. So let's welcome them and let's have a good time. Here we go.
What's up? Hey. Look, we definitely do not do this often, so count yourself special, okay?
I'm telling you.
Right. This is really, I'm excited though. I'm excited. When me and Pastor Paul talked about doing this, you guys by far were, to be honest, y'all was the top of the list. Yeah, y'all was the top of the list. If we didn't have anybody else to help us talk about marriage as millennials, as young adults, you guys were top of the list for us, you know. And so that says a lot about what you guys have lived out, you know, and you didn't live it for the world, you lived it, you know, for yourselves, you know. And it just so happened that somebody was watching, right? Mom used to always say, you don't know who's watching you.
That's true.
Yeah, so you gonna say something to say, or I'm good, because you know I'll dominate something. So I ain't want to. Okay. All right. So tell us about, you know, how you guys met. Well, first of all, let me say this. Marriage Works is this next couple of weeks. We're doing it for the month of February. We strategically pull out young adults who have been married for at least 7, 8, 10 years plus. Now, I think the McNeils are the only one that beats us in the age brackets, because y'all been married how long?
13.
14 years in August.
Yeah, boom. And we're the same age, right? So they've been, I think they're the only ones that beat us out. But and I'm sure you guys have, as I look at some of my friends from college, high school, just people in general, pastors and all those jazzes that are our age, they, they're getting married and they're getting divorced, they're separating, they're back and forth. They got their marriage all across Facebook, social media, and all this jazz. And I said, not that we're anybody special, but if we could kind of pull together some people and just talk out some things that seem to work, right, for our generation. You make it 10 years, man, you make it 5 years. That's equivalent to being married 50 years, right? And so we wanted to get some people in the room that we know probably have had every reason in the world to be divorced, probably had every reason in the world to hate each other, right? But you're still in love, you're still, you're in it, you're still pushing, you're still thriving. And so once again, thank you guys so much for helping us add to this conversation. And I really hope you guys are benefiting. My team knows y'all need to be inviting and sharing, keeping people flowing through here so they can hear this gospel. We may not be preaching a text, but we are giving. These are some laws that will, at least at this point in this conversation, will get you 14 years of marriage. We ain't even going to talk about. We ain't even going to talk about the dating scene. If we add the dating scene, we probably got a whole other world. But yeah, this is, this gonna get you at least to 14 years, and that's our goal. We don't want to be at your wedding this year in the pandemic. And then before 6 months is out of the marriage, you already talking about yourself. I don't want to hear that. So we're going to give you some tools and we're going to help you work through this. Tell us how you guys met. What was it like? Was it like a cold winter day? What was going on? What happened?
Look, so I feel like I tell it better. I tell the story.
Tell it better.
Okay. So we're high school sweethearts. Anybody from Florence area and Wilson Tigers, we dominate. Everybody's a Tiger by heart. But we met in high school 2003, 2003, going into 2004. And he actually was talking to somebody else, and I was the best friend. And we would talk like every night on the phone, and I would actually give him advice about his girlfriend. And then I guess I started catching a little feelings, and I went to his best friend one day. And I was like, yo, y'all got to tell Dondre, like, that's not where it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be over here with me. He just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
So by default, the best friend, of course, went and got all the girl cousins and everybody and gathered them. And they was like, yo, Dondre, you got to talk to Brittany. Like, she's really interested. And it was like just everything from there. From best friend to, he graduated and then I graduated and then we just stayed connected and we birthed
What we got now?
Yeah.
No, but after she didn't break up no girlfriend, no relationship.
No, I didn't.
She wasn't no home wrecker, nothing like that.
No, absolutely. Right. She was
already broke up.
Absolutely.
We was already broke up.
Yeah. But you go ahead.
And then once we got together, things just worked. It just we kind of clicked. Mm-hmm. And because before her, I probably wouldn't have all my relationships real serious like this. Yeah. And then for whatever reason, we just clicked. And even over the summers, we kept in touch, kept going out and kept going. And everything, it grew into this.
Yeah. You guys point out 2 or 3 things really. I just taught on Tuesday night about relationships, and how it starts in friendship. If we had to use some type of system or metric, I kind of equated it to the tabernacle. The inner courts, outer courts, inner courts, holies of holies. You start off as friends. So you get to know one another. That's how you know whether or not you're interested. Really with somebody. And then I love that, and how she shifted from friendship it's crazy. How she shifted from friendship into that courtship realm was stuff by a way that we don't even think about nowadays. It was through the family, right? How, and I didn't get a chance to talk about that Tuesday. I'll probably come back to it, but how key it is to have not all your family, but someone from the family that is maybe an equalizer, a balancer, or that connector piece, right? That's going to push the relationship and not divide the relationship, so they can become what, I ain't gonna preach, but what it shall come,
Okay, sir.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Friendship, family element. Then we start, pursuing this thing on another level. And so, at this point, you guys, you're dating. She in love. You trying to figure out if it's love or whatever, right? And so,
right.
And so, did we jump straight to marriage, or was there?
It was dating scene. We dated for about what? 2 years. So we didn't get married. 2007. We didn't get married in 2007. So we dated for a while. I went straight into the workforce after high school.
It was quick. It's quicker than the average because I graduated when I was 17 in 2006, and then we got married in August 2007, and then November 2007 we welcomed our baby girl. So that timeline. So it was kind of fast.
So on this dating thing, what kind of things did you guys talk about? You're dating, you're getting closer and closer. What were some things that you did as a woman to kind of notice, well, yeah, you know what, I really think, this is gonna be, yeah.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm always transparent about our transition into marriage to help other people. I didn't know. I was an 18-year-old little girl that had no clue who I was as an individual. I was scared and I was pregnant, and I really that he's all I knew. So that's what I conformed to. And it's just crazy because over the years we've just steadily conformed to one another while growing. So even, the transition of, the church scene and all that good stuff, none of that was in the picture when we started our relationship. So we pretty much started as lost kids. We didn't know. We struggled financially together. We struggled on how to communicate together. We literally had to teach each other everything because we didn't have the families that would jump in. It's that's y'all business. Y'all figure it out. It's between you and God now. And that's how it started. We never had the deep conversations of, oh, you're what I'm looking for, and I prayed for this. I didn't have a clue what I was getting into, honestly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
20,
absolutely.
18.
Yeah.
No, you should not. So that's why I always give advice now. If you're 20 and 18, you don't know who you are yet. Yeah. So being a man, taking on the responsibility of someone's daughter probably wasn't the smartest idea at 20 years old. Thank God he kept us through it. But Lord knows I didn't know who I was. She didn't know who she was. We were just two kids that thought we was so heavenly in love that we couldn't see ourselves without each other. Got married and realized quick. Whoa. Whoa.
I remember when me and Pastor Hope got married, we woke up the next day. We were what? Oh gosh, I was 23.
No,
maybe
22.
And and so we same storyline. And so when we got married, we were so excited. We woke up the next morning. We're married. She was walking around with.
We were so happy.
And she was walking around. I'm Mrs. McCants now. We were ecstatic, right? And then it was 3 months in, and it was like,
what in the world?
What did I do?
What in the world did I do?
What?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So, but what was the commitment piece? Why stay if I didn't know what I was doing? I remember I told the story, well, she told me the story about how the first Sunday came when we were married, and I threw my clothes on the bed for her to iron. She threw her dress on the bed, looking for me to iron, because in my house, my mama did the ironing. Her house, her daddy did the ironing, right? And I was like, nah, Francis Silk. No.
I'm like, nah, Chester.
Right? So you went into these bumps and bruises, along the way, but you stayed. What was it? Why stay?
We was better together. In some part in the back of our head, we felt like, we was better together. And to be honest with you, we ain't had nowhere else to go. We ain't had nobody but each other. I remember our first fight after we got married. Probably 2 weeks after probably 2 days after.
I think it was like 3 days after we got married.
Everything, all the little gifts people bought us for our marriage, we broke them, destroyed them, fighting, mad. And I remember calling my mama, and I was like, yo, you got to come get me. This is crazy. I got you. You got to come get me. I'm done.
We made a mistake.
I made a huge mistake. My mama was like, did you marry that girl? Yep. You better figure it out and don't call my house no more. Click. And so from there, I realized I was stuck. Because if mama wasn't on my side, ain't nobody going to be on my side. So I had to go figure it out. So, we repented and prayed and cleaned up the house.
Literally. Looked like dummies. We was cleaning in the middle of the floor, praying and talking to Jesus. And we was crying.
We made it work. And we made it work. It was
that was like that was a big wake-up call for us because we realized that it was bigger than us.
Yeah. And at the same time, with that happening, it showed us that it was us versus the world. Like we had to come together in order to be great at whatever God was building in our lives. And so it kind of taught us, like, you can't depend on family. You can't depend on anybody outside your house. Y'all got to make it work. So that's kind of how we stay committed to each other.
And honestly, that's the whole the Team McNeil. It actually originated, like, a lot of people think that came just from our entrepreneur side, but that's been engraved for some years, and it's just God growing and expanding and creating different avenues of how we stick together. Because that's nobody has us like anybody within our household, and we raise our kids to the same standard.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. Same storyline. I actually was calling her mama about her.
I ain't bothered to call my mama.
And then when we finally decided to call our own parents, you was told what?
I was told to read the 23rd Psalms and goodbye.
My mama wouldn't even pick up the phone.
But there was something about what they were showing us, that marriage is bigger than a moment.
Right.
It's bigger than how you feel. Prior to the wedding, we couldn't get enough of each other, right?
Yeah.
I was on the phone with her every single day, sun up, sun down. Going to pick her up, sitting in her mama's house all day. She was sitting in my mama's house all day. We couldn't get enough of each other. But then when we get married,
it's like you got nowhere to go.
It's like
go to your room.
Right.
But all that time together still didn't prepare us for living together. Right. Because as you probably do in marriage counseling as well, it's bigger than I love you.
Yes.
Because what happens when you're the neat freak and the other one just throw their clothes off, wherever it.
Yes.
That's not a reason for divorce. That's a reason for you to figure it out. Right. Maybe you need to put a clothes bin by the front door. If you go straight at the front door, then drop them in the back. much.
Right.
You know,
And
I love that.
Yeah. And that's something that's I feel like is always overlooked within generations now that's getting married, because they're looking for quick fixes, and they're taking these social media perceptions and thinking that it's just easy as a post. And it's not. A marriage is something that you build and you grow with. You're always evolving. So this week probably will look nothing like next week, you know?
Right.
So, and it's marriage is ordained by God. So of course, when you're dating or courting each other, everything's going to go easy. And the moment that you make that vow and that commitment to God, the first thing that the enemy is going to do is try and come steal, kill, and destroy. So here comes the little petty arguments. Well, you don't do this like you used to do, or you don't pay attention to me enough, or you don't check on me. It's like, okay, so are we going to argue about it and make it become the end of us? Or are we going to both level up, notice what the enemy is doing, and come together and build off of it?
Right.
Yeah. DeAndre, talk to me about this for a minute, and hope you about to take over for the next 10 minutes. My cousin said something to me when I got married, and I really thought he was being deep and philosophical. But this is what he said to me. He said, a woman has many layers. He said, the woman you are marrying is not going to be the woman you end up with 6 months, 7 months, a year. And he said, what's going to keep you faithful and what's going to keep you loving her is your effort in discovering her.
That's good.
You can speak on that.
That's good. So
tell me, talk about that.
And that's everything is that it's true. We are always growing, and so the 18-year-old girl that I married is not the same as a 32-year-old woman. Like, we got married, my wife was like, her goal was homemaking, trying to make the house great. I was the one that going to work 12-hour days, come home, and she just wanted to make sure the house was good. And now, versus where she is in, she's business, she's mentoring other young ladies, and the growth in that I see in her, I think sometimes can be hard as a man, because you have to realize that you have to adjust when she grows. And I think a lot of us fail to adjust when our spouse grows, especially when you're raised in church and everybody say you the head, and you know, when you start preaching, Lord knows everybody knew her first as the preacher's wife, and they don't really pay attention to her. They pay attention to you because you the one up there on the pulpit and doing all this and doing all that. But then when God start revealing his will for her life, you have to be man enough to back away and not be so dominant to say, hey, I'm going to let her grow and be excited for her. Like I was telling her the other night, like, I'm excited for where God is taking you, because you are impacting people. And it's not like I'm impacting people. Yeah, I preach every Sunday, but you're impacting people on personal levels, conversation-wise. You know, people that don't go to church are reaching out to you just to get an advice. And so I had to learn how to back out the way and, you know, let her blossom and grow. And I think a lot of men sometimes struggle with that.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely. And it's probably due to our rigidness and not really, we still trying to figure it all out. All that. But something else my father-in-law said to me, and I hope you got it after this.
No, I don't have
something else my father-in-law said, because I was very what is it, medieval? Maybe I was back, you know, me woman, me man, you woman, you know, do what I say, you know, all that jazz. And my father-in-law would always, if I don't remember him from nothing else, I'm going to always remember this. Michael, God ain't going to bless you until you learn how to honor your wife.
That's the book.
And I said, well, I love her. I provide for her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take care of her in the bedroom. I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but God ain't gonna bless you.
Mm.
Honor her. And that's what you just said. You know, learning to recognize her development, her growth, who she's becoming, and honoring what God is doing in her life to the point where I understand that her becoming doesn't diminish me as a man. Her having an opinion doesn't take away who I am as a man. You know, even if she goes on to be bigger, better, you know, all these secular, you know, all that, that ain't why we got married. I married you because I love you, not because
it's not me versus you versus me.
Yeah, right.
And that's the motto. The motto of Team McNeil it's never been it's me, you versus me. You know, now I always joke with her like, you know, I'm now known as Brittany's husband. You're like, everybody know me as Brittany's husband now. And I'm cool with it. I'm not like the real. Like, you used to be cute, the preacher's wife, but now I'm Brittany's husband. Like for real. And I'm like, I'm cool with that because she's growing into who God wants her to be, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with being Brittany's husband. You know, I felt like, and I tell people all the time, my business grew once I aligned with my wife. You know,
wow.
it was a big growth in business when I aligned with her because I wasn't trying to compete with her. You know, we wasn't trying to compete. We were trying to take care of these children and make sure we grow something together for us in the future.
And for the kids. Our ultimate goal is to build so my kids' can live off of it. So, and that's even, you know, from a woman's perspective, like this isn't a dominant, you know, I'm independent. No, this is a team thing. So whatever I bring in this house or whatever business I bring my way, that's our business. Or even, you know, sometimes I may not always work with him as the realtor, but hey, when that paycheck comes, they're going to our account. So that's building up us, you know? And I think if we can get out of these individual mindsets, marriage could go so much further than what it's going, because it's no longer an I. It's not I anymore. It's us. It's what works best for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Brittany, talk to us for a little bit about what, because you got married and y'all had a child, then you had another child, then y'all had another child.
Then we had another child. They just kept rolling.
They just kept rolling out. Talk to us about finding a balance between being a mother and being a wife. Because I know a lot of times in marriage, sometimes as women, we can lose ourselves in giving so much to one role till we don't have time for the other. So talk about how do you balance both?
I don't feel like I've yet to master balance, especially with the entrepreneurship side of it coming in. But I feel like that's where I found my purpose for me when I got married and had children, trying to decipher the balance between being a mom and a wife. I did lose me. I lost me because I didn't care about my well-being. You know, I forgot about me. It was, you know, make sure the kids are good, make sure he's eating, make sure he's got everything he needs. And literally had a breakdown and just was like, I'm done. Like, what is this? And I had to have a transparent moment with myself and look in the mirror and be like, okay, God, what is it that you want for my life? Because I guess I thought when I was 18, I wanted to be a homemaker. I guess I thought that was my purpose just because it sounded good. I was young and didn't know. And then over time, God just started dealing with me and bringing forth different things that just started to transpire. And of course, as y'all see most recently, well, not even a year yet, when he got into real estate, and that's when I stepped into the entrepreneur side of it. I feel like that's where my balance came in. I feel like my life within my entrepreneurship is what gives me my identity. So that allows me to separate the mom from the husband. But still yet I can still incorporate them within my business.
Right.
So it's like I'm not pushing them away, but we're still a team, but yet it's still me, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Yes, absolutely. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of marriages end is because the wife wakes up with an epiphany one day. I've lost myself. I don't know who I am. And so she thinks that her answer for that is to walk away. But it's not to walk away, it's to figure out how to find yourself again, how to figure out your purpose in the midst of your marriage.
And that's a growing pain. That's a growing pain that you have to take as a couple, because I feel like we kind of touched base on a little growing pain when it came to me tapping into my identity. And like he spoke on to, when we got married, I was Dondre's wife. I was always known as Dondre's girlfriend, and then he became into ministry, and then he became the preacher. And now I'm like, oh, you that boy that can hoop. You his wife. I'm like,
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I'm like, Lord, can we just eat our food, please? But thank you. and I think when I had that moment of, man, I found my purpose, it did create a little uncomfortableness for both of us, because it's like, so how do I move without making sure I'm not offending him?
Right.
But it's like God just transitioned it where the whole team McNeil, where we're still operating, but yet I can operate in my own identity without excluding him.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. What would be, looking back on it, what would you have done? You still got married now, but what would you have done different to maintain your identity, or was that you discovering you in the marriage? Looking back, what would you have done differently to kind of walk in the marriage with your,
I honestly don't know what I could have done different, because I don't feel like, I feel like without the struggle that we did walk through, I wouldn't have been able to identify my identity. I wouldn't have been able to see my identity.
I love it.
Oh, congregation here, my virtual congregation. Do y'all, what is wrong with you?
Why can't they be the virtual audience?
Okay, the virtual audience. My virtual audience. Let me point out something to you. Notice in the beginning, they discovered something where they said, what was it? They discovered that them being married was bigger than them, right? Whether they had children or not, the union was bigger than they personally feel. I think that right there, and I believe in that statement alone speaks to their faith, right? That she quoted the scripture earlier, that when God ordains a marriage, right? When God brings this union, we have to get to the place that we understand we're better together. I like something else that she said, both of them said, when they pointed out, me and you say this a lot, playing around, but it's probably true too. Because we were broke, busted, and disgusted. We ain't had no place to go. Right. Now, y'all tore up y'all stuff. We sold all our gifts. We sold our stuff, right? So and so we may have had circumstances that kept us from leaving each other. But here's the principle. There are some doors, because some of y'all watching, like I'm looking at some of y'all got y'all little careers together. Y'all got big, y'all just blessed. Just look at you, just beautiful, right? You just, I love it. I prescribe to all that you do, right? But when you get married, you need to close the exit doors. I mean, it wasn't that we didn't have reasons to leave. It wasn't that we didn't have the arguments, I hate you, slam this, break that. It wasn't that. It's not that it wasn't, I'm tired of you talking to me like, not that that wasn't there, but we didn't have an exit. We wasn't at the point where we were killing each other. We just had disagreements.
It was close.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
Yeah. Somebody said one time, the anniversary ain't necessarily that we made another year. It's thank God I didn't kill you last year. But you're not being abused. You're not being beat on. You're not starving. Things where you should really leave, those type of things. All what's going on is personality clashes. It's a personality thing. That's all it is. You're trying to figure out each other. The wives keep changing, but you just try to figure them out. The men are pretty much who they are. They don't necessarily, we may get kinder along the way, not as rigid, as short, patient, but personality wise, right? I mean,
Right.
That's right, McNeil. I'm with you.
I joke all the time. I tell people, people don't realize I'm an introvert, and I tell people a lot. Like, if you know me, you know that I don't do a lot of talking, a lot of big crowds of people. No, I'm gonna find a reason to leave early. And so now my wife
is in the pulpit. That's the best we're gonna get out of you.
That's it. That's the best.
That's all you're gonna get out of
it. Most people hear me talk. When I'm out and out of the pulpit, I'm just as quiet and calm and cool. But now she's changing. And she wants to hold on to this I'm an introvert thing. She's not no more. Like she's very wanting to go everywhere. And if she see people in public, she's speaking and talking, and I'm the one trying to avoid them. Like, I hope they don't see me right now. And so, but it's a lot of but it's adjustments. And so I'm learning to like, okay, this is who she is now. So because it's who she is, I gotta be able to adjust and say, all right, because if I keep on my same road and trying to pull her down back to where I am, because I don't like to go out in crowds. Now I have to sacrifice sometimes and go to crowded places and
not so much now because of COVID.
Well, because of COVID, praise God, it came in and shut us in for a little while. It shut us in for a little while. But she already planning for things we can do. And I'm cool. Like I said, I have to learn how to adjust because every marriage you got to make sacrifices, and it can't be evolved around you. If it's only evolved around you, your marriage is failing. You just don't know it.
You have to be selfless.
Yeah.
Selfless in all aspects. There is no I in marriage at all.
Right.
Uh-oh.
But we on here by ourselves, Lord. No, Jesus. Take us in the room.
Yeah, it froze.
I'm so only on Facebook Live. Can you hear us? We still moving.
Yeah.
Look at the devil. That was somebody was saying.
It's frozen.
So we frozen. Oh, wow, we ain't frozen.
I don't know. You might have to exit out of it.
I gotta see. Let me see. I will leave. Why are we on the show?
Oh,
Why are we on the show, love?
All right. Can you hear us now?
I hear you.
All right. So we're gonna put it off our Bluetooth. All right. We back while we getting the camera right.
All right.
Let's talk about that dating aspect. All right. Y'all married, y'all in love. Sure, y'all in love. You got all these children. You in love, right?
real in love.
When did you
Don't necessarily
discover?
mean you're in love.
When did you? Well, now you better preach that again. Just all right. I tell the saints all the time. Sex ain't necessarily love. That's just skill and desire.
Hello.
Okay. That's the
But now wait a
sermon.
minute. When did you discover that y'all should be dating each other, and then how does that work after you got married?
So how do we date after we get married?
Yeah.
So,
I think that discovery came when the kids came in the picture.
Yeah.
Because we came to a point where we lost sight of us.
Right.
Because we were so focused on making sure the kids were right. You know, I mean, there's 4 of them. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It was crazy. We were working 8 to 5, getting off at 5, going to pick up kids. We got into a routine of go to work, pick up kids, come home, cook, bathe everyone, shower, go to bed. Blah blah blah. Boring. And it was just the same old. But it's crazy how God works when he puts people together, because it's like we almost have the same thought process without saying it. And then we can like sit in the living room and look at each other, and it's almost like our thoughts are identical. And then he'll say something, and then it'll spark a conversation. And then we're like, okay, so let's have date night once a week. If we can't go out to a restaurant, hey, let's put all the kids to bed. Let's create a place in our bedroom, date, create, get creative and make it work. Because, when you get married and you have children, and then you have children that participate in sports, they're just little socialites and want to do everything. It's easy to lose sight. And then, we were balancing parenting, church, personal life, husband, wife. Now we're balancing entrepreneurship, businesses where, other people are pulling on us and require a lot of our attention. So we're trying to find a way to, well, I think we have pretty much. We date each other within our business. We make it fun. Like when we do our consultations, we make it a date.
Yeah. And something that's so true. When she has like singing engagements, or we out of town, or I have to preach somewhere, whatever, we always stay a day longer, right? So first day is about ministry, or we're singing, whatever. Then the second day, all right, we're gonna go eat breakfast. We're gonna have breakfast in bed. Then I'm gonna take you to the mall, and we're gonna, this is something I had to learn. She likes affirmations. So that's another thing, learning your spouse's love language, right? So I would go all day, all week without saying I love you, or tell her how fine she was, or smack her on the butt, something, right? And so I had to learn to start throwing those affirmations. Now I do it so much to drive her crazy. But right, I'm not like how the person was, on Steve Harvey, the little thing that go around with she's a worship leader and she trying to be spiritual, and the husband, that's me. I'm rubbing and kissing and all that, right? Right. But making sure that each other know that you're on my mind. I'm thinking about you. Those text messages that keeps that, spice going. Here's another good topic right here: the children. And then we're going to talk about your business aspect. Let's talk about children for a moment. So we have an idea of how we want to raise our children, right? And then our children show up, and they're children, and they break up, the whole plan. Talk about that. Dealing with the different personalities of the children, but yet putting something in place where it doesn't tear up between
you two? Because sometimes we get children, and the children become our world, and then the child is the divider.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. With our kids, it's 3 girls and 1 boy, and so all the girls, of course, have me wrapped, and the boy, of course, has the mama wrapped because he got me.
Absolutely.
And so that's normally how it goes. And so sometimes when there ever is division, it's because the girls know that they have me wrapped, so they try to play the game. I'm gonna put you versus mama and see who I'm winning with, because I know if I go to daddy first, I'm pretty much gonna get what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And so if mama told me no, I'm gonna put it in a way to daddy so that he'll know I didn't ask mama, and then he gonna say yeah, and then it's gonna start a whole bunch of things. But now that they are older, we kind of realize what the game they playing, and
we're transparent with them
and
too.
we really are. You're not gonna put me against your mother, and you're not gonna put my son against her against me.
Mm-hmm.
It's us versus y'all in the house. So
Yes.
if mama said no, don't come over here and ask me.
That's right.
Because she already said no. And I don't know what you thinking, because and I've always said, y'all gonna leave us one day. One day you gonna be 18, and you gonna get out the house. Me and her still gonna be together.
Right.
You're about to ruin this because this temporary tenant that you are right now. No. You got to go. And with kids, it's hard because, of course, I was raised different than she was raised. I got my butt cut a lot. She got her butt cut, but not as much as I got my butt cut. Not as much as me. But and that's not because that's because I was bad. I was a huge, and my son.
He's paying for it with our son.
My son was a spit limit. He's
just curious. That's all. Just smart.
That's I now know how it feels to be that parent to get called to the school multiple times in a month, to the point that the school people know you. So we're reaping it. And so it's the balance is, I'm more of the disciplinarian, and she really don't do any discipline. She called me in, and so then I have to be the bad guy all the time.
Right.
I've learned, however, but I still cut butt. I still cut your butt. But at the same time, after cutting butt, I also try to, not explain myself, but help educate them, so that they'll know why this happened. Because you just get a beating, and the beating ain't gonna teach you. We always heard this. I'm doing this because I love you. Well, at that point, it don't feel like love. So explain to me how you love me because you did that. You don't realize until you grow up how much they say they love you with the whippings. But go ahead.
No, and I was just gonna speak to a transparent moment. The way that I was raised, I love my parents, but I always tell my husband that when it comes to certain things, there's just they taught me what I didn't want to do. And I think that's more of why I step to the side, but I don't step to the side because I don't feel like I'm not capable, but I feel like he's taught me a lot when it comes to raising my kids. You don't always have to scream at them, or you don't always have to place blame on them. Simple communication and just talking to them helps, because you'll push them away. And I think that's an area that we both have an agreement on, where I allow him to guide me. In all these years, I've just, I've learned a lot, but I just follow his lead when it comes to our kids. And I think that's always been the case.
Always been the case, yeah. With DJ, it's no talk. You don't do too much talking with DJ, because help us.
But I mean, I think we're great parents together because we balance. We know our roles per se. We understand our roles and where we play, and I know that if there's something that I need help when it comes to the kids, that's the first person I go to, because he's gonna keep my mind level to make a conscious decision that I don't negatively affect my kids. because of psychological traumas that I dealt with as a child. And I think that's what a lot of us, we don't, you're going to get me going deeper than I need to, but
Yeah.
you know, that's a lot of things that we as adults don't address, and we don't talk about how it affects our kids and our relationships.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're totally different.
Yeah. Knowing self and filtering that into your reality is a key. You know, I remember when I was first. I'm more of the disciplinarian too, but I come from the family where you just grab what's in your hand. Whatever you gonna grab. That's
Yes.
And one day I had Lanaya, and I was wearing and I had about a foot just tearing her tail, and Hope had to say, "Wait a minute," and I had to say, "Okay, wait a minute, let's reprocess this, right?"
Right.
Yeah.
And so I had to set boundaries in place, right? If you're going to discipline, then this is what discipline looks like. You have to, and so that's right. You have to be aware of yourself and understand how to move forward through that, even with your children, and do it in a way that's loving. And I love that. Me and Hope say that all the time. Y'all, I got girls. All they're gonna take is for one boy to tell you pretty, and I'm gone. Yeah. Now, right now, everything I say is law. If Daddy said it, it's the truth. It's the Bible, right? But one day somebody gonna just bat the eye. Just one day, and then I'm just the devil. So no,
that's right.
That's it. I'm preparing myself every day to be that guy.
Right. So I'm just gonna love my wife hard. So when we all walk out,
We all go.
I won't be bothered too bad.
Right.
Yes.
DeAndre McNeils, realtor.
Yes.
Brittany McNeils, mortgage, loan, or originator. I glanced and then
I got you.
So now you sell the house. You find and sell the house. She take you from a life of despair with your credit.
I'm the bad person.
Yeah. She the one, she coming in. Now, in this case, she is the disciplinarian.
Yes.
She gonna pull it. She gonna tell you what ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
And what you need to do to get it right. And when you get it right, I can get you into wherever you believe in God for. Right. So now, people sell houses and people fix credit. But then there's people who sell houses and fix. I mean, y'all do this thing about like y'all saving souls out the pits of hell. I mean, y'all killing this thing. And it seems like every person y'all meet, y'all in love with, y'all got this relationship with. I mean, I almost wish I was in South Carolina. I can get beaten, and then I can,
Yes.
I mean, okay, talk to us about that. First of all, how did that come about? What one day just boom. It's almost like y'all just stopped the calling. Like it was like Abraham. The Lord came, or Moses in the burning bush. Y'all had that experience. What happened? I mean,
so
what all do you do? Tell.
So of course I'm the realtor, so I pretty much find you a house, sell you a house, help you invest in real estate. I can do all of that. And how this came about is crazy. I actually wanted to be a realtor when I was 18. And I was thinking about doing it, and then I had a conversation with my mama, and she talked me out of it. She was taught me into it, then she talked me right back out of it. But it never left me. Like it never left me, even throughout all of my years being with her, going to job after job, trying to find something that was
satisfying.
Yeah, that was satisfying me. And then one day I thought, I had this thing that if I work in a bank, I'll be fine. I think that'll be good. I can grow in it, become this, and then I got a job at the bank and realized I hated it, like with a passion. I hated it, and this was the biggest thing. Like this was it. This was what the goal was. Let's go get this job. You're gonna be great here. You're gonna grow in it. You're gonna love it. And I hated it every day. And once I got gone from that job, we had a conversation at home one night. I got fired, actually. Had a hateful regional manager. We ain't gonna get into all that, but I got fired, and I got fired, and I came home, and I'm like, okay, I gotta tell my wife we ain't got no job, and we just bought this house. What the world? And so we sat down, and she was like, this is the time that you need to go try this real estate. Let's go see what it's about. And then she took the laptop and registered me for class, got me in class. I went to class, got out of class, started working on, got my license in September. Started working with Burson Presley Realty here in Florence when we opened up our office in November of year before last. And then, I started rolling. I started going, started off slow. And then I realized how important your partner is when it comes to helping people buy houses. Like,
and business in general.
Yeah. So, and I'm a type of person, I don't trust a lot of people. So it was hard to build a relationship with loan officers when I don't really trust you. Like I'm saying, I'm giving you business, but I don't really believe that you care about my client like I care about my client. And so one day I came home, and then that's when she was working at Wells Fargo. And I was like, man, look, I need you to get your license, because we've been talking about doing mortgage and real estate for a while. And then one day she was at home, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and pay for your class. Let's get it going. And she got her license July. And then we got our first client together, closed them in August of the next month. So
I closed my first deal within 30 days of getting my license.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then from there, it just started taking off. And then, because before, she was like my credit specialist. Like, she'll sit down with people, and we don't fix. And I'll tell people, we ain't fixing your credit. I don't fix credit. She don't fix credit. We can give you some advice and counsel you on what you should do, because at the end of the day, you got to do the work. You know, you can go and do the quick erase stuff, but it's a 30, 45 day process trying to buy a house. And sometimes that stuff pop back up on there, and then you was thinking you was gonna get a house, and then they pull your credit again and say, oh yeah, your credit ain't no good, and you done lost out on money, all these other things. So I didn't trust nobody, and then that's when I told her to get in it, and ever since then it's just been on up and up.
Now, y'all, I'm gonna sound slow, and I just don't mind. I don't mind, but let me point this out, because I'm going. How they say there is no such thing as a dumb question.
Is it?
There's not.
That's not true.
Go ahead.
Well, there's somebody out here that want to know this, and so I'm gonna ask it because I'm gonna ask. I didn't know there was a difference between somebody who fixes your credit and somebody who repairs your credit. Can y'all this one more time? Don't laugh at me, Daniel. You break that down for me, because Just because it's easy to go pay that little $500,000 and wipe it on off.
Now
But that's supposed to be forever, right?
No.
So the part that's not advertised, and God knows I'm not knocking anybody on what they choose to do.
God bless them. God bless them.
Whatever you choose to do, hey, you like it, I love it. But I know what I stand for and what I teach my clients and educate my clients on. Credit to fix credit and credit repair is pretty much the same thing in my book, because it's a quick fix where you pay these large fees, and they delete these items off of your credit report, or either they go in and they dispute every item over and over and over and over until they just hope that the credit bureau gets sick of it and deletes it off. Whereas what I do is I do a consultation. And so I pull your full credit report, I do a full detailed email, and I go line by line, and I address everything that needs to be addressed in order to get you mortgage ready. And what I tell people is to look at it in this perspective. If you're trying to purchase a home, why would you take advice from a credit repair specialist that doesn't have license to originate a loan? They're not going to be able to properly advise you. So what they don't tell you is when you're purchasing a home, if you've went to a credit repair specialist and every one of those accounts are in dispute, well, when you get to me, I'm going to have you call the credit bureau, have every one of those disputes removed at a risk of it's going to make your score drop. And then not only that, if you've had accounts deleted that we don't see at that point, when we get in the process and we have it processed and we get ready to get you towards a closing date, a lot of times what happens is those items that were deleted pop back up. And when we do a soft pull before you close and see those items, hey, sorry, you can't close. Oh, you didn't tell me that. And it just leaves us in a bind. So I'm big on education and encouraging people to take the first step to not always look for the easy way out. Homeownership is the ultimate wealth. It's just a game changer. And I feel like a lot of people in our generation don't do better because they don't know better. And we've been taught to look for the easy, quick way out when, whether it's credit repair or, don't get me started, down payment assistance. Like, why have someone put a rope around your neck and tell you what you can and can't do when you can easily educate yourself over 3 to 6 months, level up, and you have that say so.
Yeah. Now, I don't know too much of their business. I'm way over here in Atlanta. I want to testify, but let me point this out, though. I want to point something out. It's almost like I'm just imagining in my mind, because I know some of the people y'all help. So I'm just imagining in my mind, they picked up the phone and called you, got a meeting, they sat with you, and within 3 to 6 months, y'all literally standing talking about you close. And I'm saying to myself, now wait a minute.
And that's to the credit of those individuals you see us standing with.
That's all credit to those clients because they
work their tail off.
They work their tail off. Like I do nothing. We both do nothing but give the advice. It's up to you if you decide to do it or not. You're the one that came to us that wants to own a home. So I'm going to take it that you're going to take the advice and do what's needed to get into the home.
And I've seen people sacrifice, because they say they want to be homeowners. From that initial meeting, I automatically know who's going to be a homeowner and who's not going to call me next 3 or not going to answer my phone call in the next 2 months.
Yeah, you can tell.
I know from the first meeting because I've always told people everybody has faith until they see the truth. And then sometimes they can allow facts to shake their faith. And so, but faith ain't not knowing the facts. Faith is knowing the facts, but still believing that God is able to do what you want to do. So when you get that list of, man, you got to do this, sometimes it's a long list because we've all messed up in life. We've all hit ditches where our credit been jacked up, got put out, cars repossessed. We've all been through that. But the blessing about credit is it's built to rebuild itself if you do take the proper steps. And so when you see people standing with us, it's a credit to those individuals that say, hey, man, I'm gonna do my part. And if you do your part, we're going to do our part. We're going to get you in the house.
They meet us in the middle.
Well, as y'all appointed marketing person for the next 30 seconds.
Wait. But FYI, I'm about to be licensed in Georgia, so.
What? All right. That's all I need to know. Because the market is good over here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look, but not for the next 30 seconds, let me say, if you're looking to go from rag to riches, and you tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Come on, sir.
If you tired of waiting for that check to hit the mail, or the credit bureau to shake off all that debt, look no further. The Lord has sent you a Moses.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
And his wife. Pick up the phone.
Right in front of you.
Pick it up. Matter of fact, if you put it in the search engine, Team McNeils, they're going to pop up. Build your faith with all those pictures of them. And the pictures of them with it's closing day. Or build your home. It ain't eternal, but it's about the closest thing you're going to get. Call my brothers and sisters. These are good, y'all. These are good people.
Yes.
Honest to goodness, I've never in my life heard anything, nothing. These are good people. And every time I've been in contact with them, it's always been a sweet encounter. They're people of honor, people of integrity, and they're people that will do exactly what they say they can do. They will not sell you false hopes and false dreams. And that's from the pulpit to getting you out your rags into riches.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking to upsize your house, whatever it is, you call them now. You think you want to go into real estate, you call. Lord, I ain't gonna get excited. Y'all call. Matter of fact, lift your hands. I prophesy that y'all will call. So the saints need to be spiritualized sometimes, you know.
Right.
I can see the bush burning. It says Team McNeil. Go see the go see them.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for your time. Any closing remarks from anybody? Next week I'm gonna be you and you gonna be me. This is the introvert in my house. Anything? You have anything? No. You all have any last?
We're good.
Nope. Grateful, honored that you guys thought about us.
Yes.
Amen. Well, thank y'all so much. I know this is out y'all comfort zone, but y'all bless the saints real good. Listen, y'all watch and share one more time. And tell the saints to check out, get these great marriage principles. You don't have to end in divorce. You don't have to hate the person you gave your heart to, the one you love. You know, if they ain't beating you, stealing from you, running on you, you know, just hold on. You know, it gets better.
It does.
Y'all, God, I can't say it. No, it gets better. You know. All right. Well, we love you and we appreciate you. You guys have a great night.
All right. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
All right.